Okay, everybody, welcome to the Advertisement Premiere project, and I'm going to give you a couple of tips if you've never used Premiere before, and you should be able to produce this rather quickly. So, first of all, when you log in, you'll see these four panels. This is in CC, which is the most latest version, and this is not like a lot of software that you've seen, but just go with me on this. In this area down here is where we're going to basically put all our files that we're going to turn into our video. In this area over here, you'll see this little thing that says timeline. This you will see basically how the image and audio will change over time, which is literally what a video is. In the program monitor, which you see right here, is what our final product will end up looking like. And over here there are several tabs actually, but a lot of this has to do with the source monitor, which is video that maybe we want to drop in here, or audio that we want to drop in, any effects that we apply to this, an audio mixer, and a bunch of other information. For this one, we're going to keep it real basic. So first of all, we're going to start by going down here to the very bottom, and we're going to create a new bin, which is Adobe's way of saying a folder. So in this one, we're comparing old 1800s advertisements from the 1800s through, well, I think the specs I put in there were 1880 to 1920 to modern day. So I'm going to say old ads. So we'll put all our old ads in there, and we're going to make another bin, and you can do this again by right-clicking just out in the middle of nowhere there, and I'm going to make another bin, and I'm going to call it new ads. So we'll be able to compare those two things there. So that's the old ad, new ad. Let's double-click on old ads. Double-click in the middle of the gray, and it'll bring this up and it'll ask me, where are my old ads? So I'm going to come in here and say, okay, I put them all in a folder here, old ads. I'm going to highlight everything and say, go for it. You guys are going in there. Then you can X that out. Go to new ads, double-click in the gray, and go back to the new ads, and we're going to click and select all of those and put them in right here. Okay, then we're going to come down to this little piece of paper, and we're going to pick a new item, and we're going to put a sequence in. For the sake of simplicity here, you can go with the AVC HD, which is going to give us an HD video, and you can choose either 1080p or 720p. Either one is fine. I'm just going to stick with 1080p at 24 frames per second, which gives a kind of a cinematic look to it, like a movie versus a TV show. Okay, so now that we have that, we are going to name this old versus new ads. Then I'll say okay. And now you'll see over here on the top, you'll see that there are three blank spaces with eyeballs on them. Those are the video, so that's your visual. And down below it, you'll see mute track, solo track. Well, if you're muting something, then you're not going to be listening to it, so these are your audio tracks. So let's first of all start out with some sort of title for this thing. So if you press Control T, or on a Mac you'll use Command T, Control T, and we're going to call this Introduction. Okay, and this is basically just going to put text on the screen. So right now we just have a black background. You're going to use your text tool or your type tool, draw a box, and I'll usually go with these guides that are like that, and I'm going to say old ads versus new ads, and then I'm going to highlight all that, and you come over to font size and blow them up, make it nice and big. There, I'm going to center my text. All of this is relatively the same as like a Microsoft Word document or something like that, and I'm just going to center it right there. That looks good, and I'm going to press the X, but notice it has not shown up in our timeline or our sequence. So it's over here, and I'm going to click and drag it in, and I'm going to actually put it on the second line. So now if I press spacebar, you'll see this is the playhead. You'll see time passing on the timer here, and you'll see how long we have this title going. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, right? So let's make this shorter than 6 seconds. If you grab the handle down here, you can make it a little bit larger. And let's bring it down to, I don't know, let's bring it down to like 2 seconds there. It's 2 seconds. 1, 2, that's probably good. Okay. Now I'm just going to put all of these old ads in together. So I'm going to click on one, I'm going to click on the, hold down Shift, and I'm going to click on the last one, and I'm just going to click and drag them all in. I'm going to put them on a different line from that title. You can click on the arrow, or you can click on, or you can just press V. That'll give you your arrow tool. And currently each of these appears to be, if I right click on this, you can set the time and, or speed and duration. They're currently all 5 seconds long. Okay, so that gives me some idea here of what's going on with each of these. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to bring in the new ones. So let's go to new ads. I can X this out, bring in the new ads, highlight all of them. Well, no, I'm not actually. Now I think about it, I'm going to look at the title of this first one, Nerve and Brain Pills. So I'm going to find my equivalent nerve and brain pill in a modern age, and I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to put it right after the first one. Okay. Then I'm going to click and highlight all of these bottom graphics. Okay. And I'm going to move them all down a little bit. So you have the old ad, you have the new ad. Okay. Then my next one is a telephone, so I'm going to click and drag, and if you just hit the \/ key, you can actually put everything in frame. I'm going to click and drag these out of the way. So the next one is a telephone, so I'm going to go find my telephone ad in the new one, which is an iPhone ad, modern day iPhone ad. There's the old, there's the new. Don't worry about them fitting in the screen right now. We'll work on that in just a second. Okay, now I have all of these lined up, and if I press the space bar, you'll see the old version of the ad play for 5 seconds, which allows your audience to kind of absorb how long it is. Then you'll see the new version and so on. The problem is they don't fit within the frame. So if you're watching this, they're so tiny. Now, one thing you could do is you could set up your basically your template to be a different size. So instead of being HD, you can make it smaller. You could go out there and search for more high-resolution images, blah, blah, blah. There's, a lot of technical stuff that can be done. This is probably not the best solution, but it sure is fast. So for the sake of this assignment, I'm not really that concerned with it. Highlight all the ones that you want to change. Right-click on it. Go to Scale to Frame Size. Boom. Okay, so they'll get a little bit grainy. They'll get a little bit of pixel to them, but look at this. Everything fits, and it's super easy, and you get your point across, okay? And some of these ads, honestly, like this car ad, wasn't that great a quality to begin with, so it kind of fits, okay? And this will just show a comparison of all of these. Now, the next thing you want to do, if you want to get full credit on this assignment, you'll double-click and you go find some music. Okay, so this is what I did. I found some music for a project I was working on earlier. It was in a folder, so I went and clicked on it. I double-clicked in this general area, brought it up, and I said open, and it imported it right here. If I double-click on it here, it'll put it into the source monitor, so I can take a listen if I want. Okay. So I have my music there, and I'm just going to bring it, click and drag it in, and it will show up below the line in this case. So then I can go in between these where it's a double arrow. I can pull this down, and you can actually see a waveform for it. and then I can press the space bar and you'll see the ads come along and you'll be able to hear it as well. Now, one thing for the picky good video editing experts out there, you see these big waves. Those are great times to time your clips to meet that if you want to get all technical with it. For this assignment, you can just have some music in the background. Now, chances are, if I hit the backspace key again, I can see the whole project. Chances are your project looks like mine, where the music is much longer than the actual video itself. So I'm just going to move this down and get it closer to the length of everything else. Okay, so that's the end right there. And once you've done that, you've done the whole project. That's all I'm asking for in this assignment. So let's go up to File and let's export this thing. So we're going to export it. Oh, first of all, that's a good point. Make sure that the yellow outline is around your sequence. Okay, that way it knows what it's exporting. So we go File, Export, Media, and it'll bring up the Export Media dialog box. Choose the format, which is H.264. Go with a preset, and in this case I'm going to go with YouTube. Premiere's made this so brainless. It used to be so hard to do this, but now it's just completely mindless. It's wonderful. You can come in here, and remember I chose a 1080p at 24 frames per second. 23.976 is technically what it is, so I'm going to go YouTube HD, boom, done. And then I'm going, if you click on the output name, I'm going to choose where it will be output to, and I'm going to go to the desktop, find my old ads, and I'm just going to put it in there. That way I know where it's all at. And then you can just say export, and it will start exporting your project. And that's it. Then all you have to do is upload it to YouTube and send me the link, and you are done.